but it is time to make J-Mac make the big picks. We call this segment Tomorrow's Headlines Today. What's the headline? Niners and the Texans on a wonky, weird numbers weekend.
Not a lot of great games. I think this one certainly qualifies, probably for some reasons you're going to find out here shortly. The headline for Texans-Niners will be, "Move out the way. 49ers gold held up in Houston. Give me the Texans," Colin. Look at how we play on recent current events there. Yeah, nice to hear you laughing. So DeMeco Ryans here. First matchup against the Niners since leaving San Fran. Colin, I'm going to ask you, listen, you're a defensive coordinator. You spent time with Shanahan. You're seeing these guys in practice. If anybody knows what Shanahan wants to do, it's DeMeco Ryans. I think that's a big edge for this great Texans defense. They got one of the best front sevens in the league, arguably the best front four. I think the Niners struggle here a little bit. I'm with you. I think you said low-scoring game earlier, especially without Nico Collins and Christian Kirk. There's rumors that Houston could start two rookies on the outside, Higgins and Noel. I'm like, whoa, that's a bit of a surprise. I'll go 17-13-ish. Texans get the win. Line's moving toward 3. This could close Texans 3, which I don't love.
Tomorrow's headlines today, Browns-Patriots. I really like New England in this spot.
Yes, Colin. Sometimes when we agree, it's like 78% hitting. The headline for Browns against the Patriots will be canceled coverage. Browns not protected from mayhem. Colin, we love Drake May here. I know he's going to the Hall of Fame. I'm going to start calling him Drake Mahomes. That's how good Drake May has been, right? #1 deep ball thrower in the league. Colin, are you ready for this stat? 20-plus yard air passes. Drake May, 14 of 18 this season.
Wow.
That's insane with 5 touchdowns. And, oh, by the way, the Browns, they're susceptible to getting beat deep. Again, this Cleveland defense does not really travel. That's been a big issue for them.
You're right.
And you get the rookie quarterback going up against Vrabel. And here's the other stat I love. I haven't seen or heard this anywhere. So we saw the Raiders last week get really smashed. Guess what? They were going into their bye. Okay, maybe they were already mentally checked out. You know who else we saw struggle? Jacksonville. Got really their doors blown off. They were heading into a bye. The Cleveland Browns have a bye next week, Colin. They've been on a long one. They had road games. They had London. They had to go travel. Now you get one more trip before the bye. I think they kind of get smashed here by the Patriots.
Tomorrow's headlines today. This was a stay-away game for me. Giants at the Eagles. Can they sweep Philly?
Well, why'd you stay away, Colin? I just curious.
Philly's going to eventually figure out their run game.
Yeah, so I would agree they're a Jekyll and Hyde team. The headline for Eagles-Giants, the rematch will be Quan, but not forgotten. Barkley sets a reminder for Giants. This has to be the Saquon Barkley game. Colin, this is a weird Eagles stat. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
So they lead the league in 3-and-out punts. #1 in the NFL. They're also #1 in red zone touchdown efficiency. What? I don't really know what's going on with this team. It could be, as you noted, that they're on another offensive coordinator. They basically change them like their underwear every season.
Yeah.
And now they're just struggling on the down-to-down. This A.J. Brown stuff is concerning. Everybody's waiting right now to see if he practices today and will be a go this weekend. But at some point, they got to figure this out. Once they move the ball, they're great. But getting started, they're like that old car that can't really get going. Meanwhile, they're facing a Giants team that has been lights out in the first quarter with Dart and Daboll scheming up stuff. Remember, they grab these early leads, and can they hold on? I'm going Eagles here, but I don't feel amazing about it.
All right, I took the over on Dolphins at the Falcons. Atlanta at home, it's a little bit of a track team. Tomorrow's headlines today, Miami at the ATL. What do you got?
I was texting you earlier this week. One of my big things in the league this year is it's back to a ground and pound. Running is so instrumental the way defenses are adjusting. Who does that give the edge to here? The headline will be for Falcons, Dolphins. Life is too short. Dolphins clock out midseason. This is a Miami defense, Colin, cannot stop the run. 7 running backs they faced this season. 5 have gone over 100 yards. Wow. Jonathan Taylor was at 98. I'm just telling you, Bijan should be in line to carry your fantasy team this weekend. And the headline here, clock out midseason, has Miami quit? I think we saw some of that in the second half against the Browns. Can the Falcons run away and hide? We'll see how Michael Penix in that knee holds up. It sounds like he's going to be a go, not an issue. Miami's pass rush isn't great. I just want to see the Atlanta offense that cooked Washington, right? That went up and down the field against the Bills. That's the one I want to see at home. And by the way, if Tampa slips up against the Saints and Atlanta wins this, we've got a divisional race that kind of is fun.
Yeah. Finally, tomorrow's headlines today. A really interesting game. Cowboys at the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, I'd say this is probably the second best game. I'm fascinated by it. I'm starting to come around on the Cowboys. I can't believe it. The headline for Dallas, Denver will be shot happens. 350-yard daiquiri dropped onto the field. Colin, this is about Dak Prescott. How about this? I saw a funny stat. The two best offenses in the league are the Dallas Cowboys and whoever's playing Dallas because the defense is so leaky. Sounds like Trayvon Diggs, I'm reading here, in the last hour could be going on the IR. I don't know what happened at his house. Something went down. Now he's banged up. He's out. So they're going to hemorrhage points on the back end. But, man, you know what Dak Prescott cooks. That's man-to-man defense. Throwing to Lamb, who can get open, and Pickens, who's a cheat code. Denver plays a lot of man, Colin. I think this matchup Dak should have another 350-yard game here. The question is, can the Cowboys defense get enough stops to get the win? I'll take a little Dallas on the money line. And if the Eagles slip up, I'm just telling you, if you want the Cowboys, Colin, bet them now to win the NFC East because things could go their way this weekend, which is honestly one of the bigger stories in the league. We thought this team was headed downhill, didn't we not?
I thought it was a 4 to 5 win team.
Yeah.
No, not and I was a fan of what was it, the August Green Bay Micah trade. Like I was a fan of it, getting 2 first-round picks. Albert Breer, who was on about a half hour ago, his thoughts on that struggling Bo Nix Broncos offense and that leaky Dallas defense.
I think this is a real strength versus strength game where you've got an outstanding Dallas offense with a quarterback in Dak Prescott playing at an MVP level, 2 receivers in Lamb and Pickens who have number 1 type ability going against a Denver defense that's fantastic, right? So you have strength on strength there. I think on the other side now, Denver's got that opportunity to really assert themselves offensively. It'll be interesting to see whether or not they can do it.
You know, it's interesting with Sean Payton. Bo Nix, if you go to Russell Wilson's prime, what did he do? He ran around and, could struggle over the middle of the field. Bo Nix now, young guy, runs around really well, has struggled on the deep ball. Russell was very good on the deep ball early, but never really saw the middle of the field. There's some complaints that, Bo Nix is little run reliant, has to move, hasn't been as good from the pocket, Greg Cosell says. I tend to think if you can run as a quarterback, do it for the first 2 years, then scale back on it. But for 2 years, as you try to decipher NFL defenses, pick up first downs, use your legs. By year 3, don't run as much, learn to slide. But I think it's almost like when you go to work at a new company the first 2 years, just live at the office. I tell my kids in your 20s, you've got the energy, live at the office. 30s, start a family. 40s, you lose energy. In the NFL, when you're a young quarterback, these defenses are so much tighter and well-coached than college. Run, move the chains, move the sticks, pick up first downs. It's going to be choppy. People look at Mahomes. Well, Mahomes didn't have to play his first year. So you didn't get those 5 or 6 really sloppy, ugly, turnover-prone starts. He had Alex Smith, Andy Reid, and inherited Travis Kelce closer to his prime or in his prime.